Namaste, it's Adrian here. I hope that you're doing great. This is a very serious reading. I could feel this reading coming to me. Source really very strongly encouraged me to do this reading because some of you are dealing with dark energies, you are dealing with negative energies, you are dealing with challenges, you are dealing with dark forces. I think in the last 3 or 4 days, I've had a number of people that came to me and asked me to help them with the same thing, and they specifically mentioned that they've got challenges with dark energies. There's a lot of ancestral energy that has been sort of locked up in a lot of people that is coming out at the moment, different lifetimes. And I've been doing a lot of those clearings. And so I'm going to give you some advice on how to deal with that yourself as well. I'm going to do a reading for that. So if you feel that you specifically are dealing with a dark energy, with a dark force, with an entity, with a negative attachment in your life, this reading is for you. Please remember this reading is still general, but take from it what resonates. I've got a salt bowl over here, which I actually created it for myself. I want to explain to you a little bit towards the end of the reading how to use that. Let's just, before we start, I just want to explain to you, I've got a white candle over here. I've got a white candle burning. And I am creating a candle magic course at the moment. It's going to be an online course, but it's going to be about a month and a half before that course is done. So I just wanted to share this with you. So I've got a white candle over here because white, it basically encompasses everything, all the energies. The thing to remember is that back in the day when our Wiccan ancestors, when the pagans, all of those who lived in harmony with nature, when they did candle magic, they only really had white candles. So you can use white candles and you put your intention in the candle to call in the positivity, to call in the light. Obviously, like me over here, you want to put it in maybe like a glass container or something like that just to keep it safe. You can keep some of your favorite crystals over here. I like to use this bowl specifically for this purpose. I don't like to mix my household things with my magical tools because these are magical tools. We sometimes don't take energy seriously enough. We see a little bit of something here and a little bit of something there, and we catch something over here and we catch something over there, and we sort of combine things up together. And sometimes we mess up our own energy by doing that. Something also very important to remember is that instead of trying to fix negative energy, especially if you feel there's nothing wrong going on in your life at the moment, I mean, fantastic, great for you. But instead of trying to only fix things when there's a problem, you rather want to keep your energy high. You want to keep your energy flow high because when your vibration goes down, you become that magnet for negative things into your life. I've got a beautiful crystal ball over here, which I got from my Reiki master back in 2014. And the reason why a lot of psychics and people who do psychic works and, tarot readers and oracle readers and all those sort of people, all my fellow beautiful esoteric family, the reason why we like to work with crystal balls, and I've got quite a couple of them, I really, really like them, is because what it does is the shape itself, it amplifies the energy because it sends the energy in all different directions. And clear quartz is a crystal that can be programmed to do anything. So it can take on the energy of any other crystal and it amplifies the energy of any other crystal. And so what it also does with your psychic flow, you can see even in my bracelet, all these are around as well. This is just a chakra balancing bracelet with some lava over here. And this is actual lava from a volcano because it calms you, it calms your energy, it calms the body. Some other crystals that I have here just for interest sake, if any of you are interested, this is called Magick Merlinite, which is from the obsidian family. I think that's only found in Madagascar. I've got blue sodalite over here, which is really, really incredible for channeling, connecting to those higher beings. This beauty I got from a friend of mine. It even though it doesn't seem like typical sort of smoky quartz, this is actually smoky quartz, which is fantastic for banishing negative energy, clearing your space of negative energy. And this beautiful one over here is yellow calcite, which a friend of mine got me for my birthday quite a couple of years ago, which is just absolutely, absolutely beautiful. And it's really great for raising your vibration, but doing it in a very gentle sort of way, because sometimes we want to up our energy so strongly, but you don't necessarily need to go for that. Okay. I'm just gonna see. Let me just put a salt bowl here for a moment. There's a really amazing crystal in there that I want to speak to you about as well. But let's do your tarot reading first. So again, I've got a clear quartz crystal over here. The beautiful shape that we have. This shape specifically, what it does, you can see it's like a little six-pointed shape. Shapes you can also see even with the pyramids. They normally have that point. And so what we do at points, especially in things like crystal healing, working with energy, a point, it basically points the energy in a certain direction. So you sort of point it so you can have the energy going in a specific direction. So we are going to start off by drawing an oracle card. Now again, I want to remind you, this is a general reading. Take what resonates. But I do not believe that you have been brought to this reading by chance. I believe that there's a message here for you, and we're going to see what that message is. This oracle deck is the Oracle of the Seven Energies by Colette Baron Reed. If you look in the description, you will see all the different cards that I use, and that is the one that is calling out to me. A second card came out. So we're first going to take this one, and we're going to see. So it says shining through. So if you're feeling at the stage that you are at a point where you're facing a lot of challenges, you are facing a lot of darkness, you think that the darkness is going to take over your life, you feel that, maybe there's so many negative things happening in your life that you might be feeling that there's no hope that is shining through. This card comes through to you as a message to let you know that source is coming through for you, spirit is coming through. But the reason why you want to do things, for example, like a salt bowl, which I'm going to explain to you at the end of the reading, lighting a white candle, what you are doing is you are raising the vibration within your space, within your vicinity. Because what a lot of people sometimes don't want to accept is that, at some point or the other, when we take on a negative entity somewhere along the way, you must have somehow being, a vibrational match for that energy to be able to take itself on in you. Yes, we do also get generational sort of energy that is taken on sometimes. And things that really happen also a lot of times is things like, it's generational pain. Yes, it's our pattern, but it's generational. Maybe, from the times of the slaves, or, maybe the witch hunts. Maybe you were on the privileged side of the fence, but you didn't like what was going on. And there's a lot of universal vibration that is coming through at the moment to assist you, to support you. Okay, let's see what is this other card that came out. The Rose's Kiss. That's my dog barking outside. And then I've also got my little, hey baby, my little Jack Russell over there. I don't know if he's going to get up now. Do you want to say hi? Do you want to say hello? Come here, my love. Let's see if you want to say hello. To those of you that don't know it, just babies. Bruno, say hi, Bruno. Hello. Do you want to say hi? Do you want to say hello? Do you want to say hi? Hey, do you want to bring your positive energy in here? Do you want to help transmute positive energy? Get rid of the negative and bring in positive, hey baby? Oh, look at you, you're so cute. He's only like 7.5 weeks old. Okay, that might have been a mistake. Oh, he's going back to rest. Oh, goodness. Great. So Spirit is working with us. The Rose's Kiss. And what I also wanted to show to you, the two things I wanted to show to you, first of all, before we get to that, there's a ladybug over there. And to me, a ladybug is always about magic. And when we read cards, it is about what does something mean for you. And I grew up in the country. And so for me, a ladybug was always magic. All right, look at how the candle is flickering over there. Spirit is in the house, my people. Spirit is in the house. Okay, look at it, all gently calming down now. There's energy here. There's energy here. So when you read cards, it's what does it mean for you, especially with oracle cards. And if you do look down below in the description, you'd also see there's a link for my free Oracle card course or Oracle card reading course. And obviously, if you're quite serious about reading cards, there's also my step-by-step tarot reading course. There's a link for that in the description. But what I wanted to point out to you here is that this is number 30, which is number 3, which is the power of 3. Now, in this upcoming course that I'm doing with Candle Magic, it's a full-on practical magic course. And I speak about the power of 3 because the power of 3 is that allness of who we are, which, mind, body, spirit, sometimes in the more sort of Christian religion, we call it Father, Son, Holy Spirit. It's the Trinity, and it's the same thing with the pyramids. It's the three shapes. It's a strength that we had, and a pyramid is also, or a triangle rather, it's the strongest shape in nature. So there's 30 over there, number 3, and 0 is, it's a number of completion. Also a circle, in symbolism, it represents the soul. So we're speaking about a soul completeness here. There's a journey that's complete here, and the reason why, for many of you, the reason why there are sort of darker patterns beginning to show themselves. Look at our spirits in the house. There's nothing blowing in here. There's no open window. There's no fan. There's no draft. There's nothing like that. There's no reason for the candle to be flickering that way. Spirit is in the house. Okay, and I want to encourage you to open yourself to accepting the help of the angels, because you are getting an invitation right now. You are not seeing this by coincidence. So I'm encouraging you to place your hand on your heart. Feel your heartbeat. Feel that heartbeat, that heart that beats, that sends blood through your body, that oxygen that you're breathing, that your body's just working. There's an intelligence that's making your body work. Some of you may or may not know that every 7 years you basically regenerate a whole new body. All right? And the reason why you age and you get wrinkles and your hair gets gray and all those type of things is because there are genetic messages. There's an expectation for how life should go, but you can change that expectation. All right? And that is why I'm so passionate about, being a past life regression hypnosis practitioner, because it's about changing that negative patterning. But again, even there with number 9, all right, 3 times 3, this is double strength. You've got what it takes to overcome anything. And as I was going to say, the reason why there is a lot of sort of like negative things coming out at the moment, for many of you, it's not necessarily that the negativity has just come into your life now. Oh, look at my baby sleeping, he's so cute. It's not that the negativity is only coming into your life now. You've been carrying this with you through generations. Because as human beings, we are a product of a product of a product. I always like to say that human beings are glorified clones. And now it's time to release those patterns. It's time to let the fight go. It's time to let the negativity go. It's time to let the pain go. All right? I myself, in my lineage, I live in South Africa, but in my lineage, on my father's side of the family, my great parents or grandparents, they were slaves. They were coming from St. Helena. They were locked up in the ships, chained up in the ships, and then the ships went on the rocks, and then they landed on the rocks. And they couldn't speak the language, they didn't know the people, they didn't know the culture, but they somehow found a way to adapt. And instead of staying with the pain that I come from slavery and it's so unfair, I choose to tap into the fact that I come from a lineage of a family, of a heritage, of a generation that could come through such difficult challenges and that could survive through those, that could make a life through that could reach great successes through that. And remember, in life we always have a choice. We sometimes believe that in order to sort of like honor our ancestors and honor our heritage and our lineage and all those type of things, that we have to hold on to the pain. It was hard for our ancestors, yes, but it doesn't mean that it still has to be hard for you now. Okay, let's see what we've got for you in tarot. We are using the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann, who also created the Lightseers Tarot. This is an incredible deck of cards. I really, really like it. The energy is so beautiful. So let's see. And even though we say this is a general reading, what I always like to remind people of is that as human beings, in many ways, we vary the same. Really, as human beings, we vary the same. We're not that different from one another, because we are one. We are one expression of love. Okay, let's see, what do we have there? So the energy that led up to where you are at the moment, or what we sometimes call the recent past, we've got the 2 of Voices, which is the 2 of Swords. We've got the 6 of Voices, which is the 6 of Swords, and the 5 of Voices, which is the 5 of Swords. So Swords is it's an intellectual sort of energy. It's a brain energy. It's a mind energy. It's a very air sign sort of energy. Swords, swords, swords. There's a lot of I can almost call it negative patterning that some of you might be carrying within you. Yes, there were challenges in the past, there were dark things that happened in the past. And for many of you, you needed to carry that lineage through with you, but it's almost like it started to catch up with you. All right. Also, remember that we've just gone through this whole period of COVID and everything like that. I'm just going to move this ball so that we can move these cards here a little bit. There we go. There we go. Fantastic. Spirit wants me to keep this Magick Melanite here because it's very much about releasing energy. And Magick Melanite really brings in that magic into your life. That's why it's called Magick Melanite. For some of you, you could have had experiences here that weren't really nice. People that you thought would stay in your life, disappointments, friends that turned out to be disappointments, that hurt you, that used you. Some of you really needed to reevaluate life recently. Certain fights that you couldn't be part of the drama any longer. Basically, that's really what it comes down to. You couldn't be part of the drama any longer. Where are you currently? We've got the 5 of materials, which is the 5 of pentacles. Okay, some of you have still got a bit of a problem with abundance. The 7 of inspiration, which is the 7 of wands, and the 9 of inspiration, which is the 9 of wands. There's that 9 energy again in your current space. Okay, that inner strength. Some of you, it's difficult because you are realizing that you need to move on without certain people in your life. Now, here's the thing. It's time for a new day. It's time for a new celebration. It's time to celebrate you. Now, here's the thing that is difficult for a lot of people sometimes. It's that we want to take certain people with us in life that are just not ready to go with us. If they're not ready, they're not ready. We cannot make them be ready. We would love to, but we can't. All right? And for some of you, it's that painful realization that some of the company that you might be keeping, the friends that you might be keeping, that they're holding you back, and it doesn't make them bad people. It just means that they're not ready. It's it. All right. It doesn't make you a bad person for holding on. It just means that maybe you were not ready to accept it fully yet. But it's time to open to a new day for you there. All right. You're going to get your card for overall energy first, and you've got number 7 over here, which is the Chariot. This is the Cancer energy. All right. This is about, it's time to move forward with your light and your dark. Some of you, you've done a lot of introspection. You've done the inner work. We're going to do another card. Spirit wants me to draw you another card for your current space. 8 of Voices, 8 of Swords. This is a card of feeling trapped sometimes, where we feel we need to take big things. Listen, just because you are ready to move forward and some people are not ready to move forward with you, doesn't mean that we have to wage a war on them now. All right? Sometimes we feel we have to take those drastic steps. We have to let them know, listen, you are the problem in my life. I can't move forward because I've got you. There's no need to do that. All right? You are ready. They're not ready. Let it be what it needs to be. Okay? Let's see what you can expect going forward. Because some of you, you're ready. You are ready because you know who you are, you know who you're not. You know what your strengths are, you know what your shortcomings are, you know what you need to work on, you know what you can celebrate, what you can tick off your list already. You're quite honest with yourself. All right? And that doesn't always mean that you've got everything 100% together in life, because, come on, let's think about it. Who really has life 100% together? Life is an ongoing process. Life is a molding process. Life is a changing process. Life never ends. Okay? We keep on learning. And today you are better than you were yesterday. That's just life. All right? And so forth and so forth. There's that 9 again. 9 of Voices. What's coming towards you? 9 of Swords. 8 of Emotions. 8 of Cups. Queen of Emotions. All right? There's a very, you are very strongly encouraged here to focus, to work with your emotions. Now, a common mistake that people often make is that they will say, for example, you are water sign, you are earth sign, you operate more in your emotions. You are air sign, you are fire sign, you of a more sort of mind sort of energy, you're more in the logic. You don't work so much with emotions, But we all work with emotions. We just work with it in different ways. Don't be scared to tap into your emotions. For some of you, it's time to cry. You need to cry. It's time for you to cry. Okay? It's time. I can see you going towards more because you're beginning to see your value. I can see for many of you that you are going forward and you're opening yourself to that new day, to that new way of being. Celebrate yourself. All right. When you celebrate yourself, it doesn't mean that you've got everything together already. But just because you don't have everything together doesn't mean that you can't celebrate yourself, doesn't mean that you can't be proud of everything you've got so far. All right. Maybe it's time to pause and reflect. Take three nice deep breaths. Again, place that hand on the heart. Taking three nice deep breaths. As you breathe in all the positivity of the universe, all the solutions that there are. And as you release the breath, release all of that which is not in your, supporting your highest good. All of that which you know and all of that which you don't know. Conscious and subconscious, because we don't always know everything. Okay? We don't always have everything together. That's just human. That's the deal. Okay? It's a little bit of a wild, wild west type of place. But I see you really moving into your strength. I see you, there's a spiritual awakening that's happening over here. And spiritual awakenings are those things that they don't always feel very cool while they are happening. They don't feel like blessings. They feel wow. They feel unsettling, because your DNA is it's sort of like upgrading over here. There is potential. You have been carrying potential with you through lifetimes, and now it's a time for that potential to come out in that blueprint to unlock. And what happens when a lock has been locked for many, many years? When we try to unlock it, sometimes it's a little bit of a process. You have to apply a little bit of pressure, you have to put in a little bit of oil, you have to pull a little bit harder, and then sometimes you need to take a little bit of a break in between. Give yourself time, have patience with yourself, because you're going towards more. Relationships that are fulfilling, jobs that are fulfilling, careers that are fulfilling, lives, partnerships that are fulfilling. Okay, waking up every day and actually being excited about life. That beautiful crystal that we've got over here is it's Apache tears. So there's a lot of sort of like from the obsidian family over here, because Apache tears is also from the obsidian family, and obsidian is basically it's basically hot lava that is spewed out of a volcano, and then it hits the cold air and it solidifies before it hits the ground. That is also why you can see in the lava over here, it's got like little air bubbles inside. Okay, because obviously when you've got hot spewing lava, it's got air bubbles inside. Let's draw some clarification for this chariot energy and this eight of voices energy, this eight of swords energy for your overall. We're just going to draw one card, and you've got the seven of cups. So disappointments here for some of you. Maybe people letting you down, not being, who and what you expected them to be. That experience where everything that glitters isn't necessarily gold. But this is a time for you to paint a new picture of your life. A lot of times, I've been getting this a lot, that people have been asking me lately very specific things. They want to know about love, they want to know about careers, and they want to know about their future. They want to know about their purpose. They want to know about their destiny. Why are they here? And here's the thing about your life path. Your life path is not as straight and narrow as people believe it is. Okay? What you do determines your experience of life, and it's time for you for some of you, let me rather put it like this, for some of you there was a very set idea for how your life is going to be, and it was a limiting idea because it came from generational programming. This is who you are, this is what you're born into, this is what you can expect. It's time to let it go. All right, it's time to paint a new picture for yourself. Instead of saying, what is my destiny? The question is, what would you like your life to be? All right. Let's draw a card for that shining through there, for that oracle energy. I'm going to grab this one over here. And it's got the King of Cups. You are ready. You are ready for love. You are ready for abundance. You are ready for prosperity. You are ready for success. You are ready for all the magical things in life. Okay? You are really, really ready. Let's see what we've got there in that recent past energy. What do we have there? Let's look at that Six of Voices, that Six of Swords. You've got the Moon. Again, some of you really needed to look at your emotions. Things were a little bit rocky there for some of you. It was a little bit wild, all right, when it came to emotions, because there might have been some manipulation there, some dark energy, some narcissism, and a lot of times, and I can see now why Spirit wanted me to do this kind of reading for you, because a lot of times we believe that it's just sort of like negative energy that the universe is out to get us. But then sometimes what it also is we've got that generational pain inside of us, either from this lifetime or from other lifetimes, things that haven't been dealt with. Because remember that time and space doesn't really exist. Time is the earth thing. It makes this earth game possible. But everything is happening simultaneously. And as I also like to explain to my clients that even when we do a past life regression, it's all linear. Okay? It's the past doesn't really exist. The past life and the future life, it's all in the present. Okay? Let's see what we've got there for that 5 of voices, for that 5 of swords in the recent past, the Ace of Swords. Yeah, so for some of you, there were some painful truths that came to the surface. Maybe somebody that you trusted turned out to not really be that trustworthy, and that really hurt your heart. But for some of you, it was necessary to learn some pains. It was necessary to reach some clarifications on certain things. It wasn't necessarily pleasant, but it was necessary. Because certain people, certain situations, certain circumstances, they were just not meant to go forward with you. They were part of the lesson, but then sometimes, we don't want to release that lesson. Let's look at the 7 of inspiration there for you. There's 2 cards that are coming out there for you. Third card is presenting itself. Let's see with this strength energy, which is Leo energy, Knight of Pentacles and Knight of Cups. Okay, now I can see why Source wanted another card to come out, because it's time to really, it's for some of you where you are at the moment, it's time to accept within yourself, this is the healing that you require. Because remember, as I said, that when your vibration is low, you can attract negative things to you. All right, and that is very important to know, and that's very important to understand. And the healing that you are encouraged here to do, the healing is that you can do it on your own when it comes to finances. Maybe you're a single mom raising your kids. Maybe you really wanted, to be with someone, and you have to accept that the relationship is not going to work out. Maybe you wanted a certain job, a certain home, a certain car, a certain plan. Well, maybe the universe has got a better idea for you, because for some of you, you may have planned with other people. It's time for you to know that you can do it on your own when it comes to money and when it comes to love. So these are very powerful messages for money and powerful messages for love. Okay? Let's see what we've got here for you. 9 of inspiration. We've got 2 cards that are popping out there. Again, the Chariot. The 9 of Swords and the Chariot. This Cancer energy, this flowing energy, this going forward powerfully. In your emotions, don't be afraid to feel your emotions. Some of you don't want to feel the pain, you don't want to feel the fear, you don't want to feel the animosity, you don't want to feel the anger. Okay? But you know what I like to say to people often is that, people's like, you know what, Adrian, I want to heal, I want to heal, I want to heal. I'm like, okay, what do you want to heal from? Because you got to get that clarity about what it is that you need to heal from. You can't just say that you want to heal, but you don't want to face what it is that you need to heal from. If you're angry at this person, you're angry at them. You need to acknowledge that. Yes, we've got the idea that, whatever you think about is what you bring about. But that also doesn't mean that you have to be in denial. And if you've been doing a lot of work on yourself for quite a period of time, one bad thought is not going to sabotage that, in the same way that, to move yourself from a positive space, from a negative space, to a positive space, you needed to put some work in there. It's a consistent thing. And it's like a snowball effect. So you start going in a positive direction. And to start going negative, you have to then consistently work at that negativity. It doesn't just happen from one thought. All right? Don't be afraid that if you acknowledge your thoughts, that it's going to take you in a different direction. Because when we don't acknowledge our thoughts, then we sometimes miss very crucial information, because it's through our emotions that the universe communicates to us, because we are vibrational, energetic beings. And if we refuse to feel our thoughts, we sometimes won't feel our emotions, because we say, I can't feel that, and I can't feel that, and I'm not allowed to feel that. All right? But how do you feel? Because if you want to, say you want to heal from your ex, well, how do you feel about your ex? Do you still miss them? Because it's okay to miss people still. Are you angry at them? Are you disappointed at them? Because we've got this thing, in spirituality, in religion, in life. Oh, I'm such a good person. Oh, I've forgiven them. All love and light. Everything is fine. But is it really fine? Because if it's not fine, you're fooling yourself. And you're not healing, you're fooling yourself. We're often in the space of you trying to heal and heal and heal, and it never happens. The question is, why doesn't it happen? All right? Spirit says we're just going to draw one card from the bottom of the deck for, oh my goodness, for where you are heading. Wheel of Fortune. This is Jupiter energy. This is positive energy there with the number 10. End of cycles and starting of powerful new beginnings. You definitely claim that for yourself. All right? So just to be clear, that the reason why some of you are having like negative energy in your life, and negative energy is a real thing. Let's not fool each other here. You know, I mean, it's very real. But, you know, when your vibration is low, then you are that automatic sort of magnet for lower vibrational energy. It only makes sense. Like if you put certain seeds in certain soil, it's going to grow better than in other soil. All right. So if you just work at raising your vibration, even with cord cuttings, energetic cord cuttings, you know, people get very, very into it, and they do all sorts of things like, you know, pow, 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 they like fight in the dark and stuff like that, and they're warriors of the light and things like that, and you know, that's their choice. But for me, it's like if you want to bring in the light, like if you want to bring the light into a room, like I'm going to show you, I'm in a room right now, and I'm going to switch this light off, so it's going to be a little bit dark. And if I want the light back, I can either stand here and shout and scream at the light bulb and swear at it and tell it how horrible it is, or, okay, well, it doesn't make a big difference. Let me try this light to sort of demonstrate my point. So I can switch this light off. Oh, that actually looks quite nice, quite mystical. You know, and I can, and there's this ring light above me, above the reading, and I can stand and shout at this ring light forever, or I can just flip the switch and the whole thing just switch back on again. All right. And it's the same thing with when you raise your vibration here with the Wheel of Fortune. Systematically, you don't have to do it overnight. Because sometimes we want to fix things just like that. Energy that you've been carrying with yourself for lifetimes. Now, I'm not encouraging you to not be proactive in how you do things, but sometimes when you try to push something too hard, it's almost like we cause disharmony for ourselves. And so this is what I want to show you with a salt bowl. I'm just going to take that out for a moment. Sorry. So this is just, I like to use a black bowl because black sort of like takes on all negative energy. And then I just take normal coarse salt. This is just regular coarse salt. So you don't want to take the iodinated one. Normal coarse salt. And you speak to the salt, because remember, everything is living energy. Now, something that I want to point out to you at this point, just because one of my Reiki students asked me this earlier on. She's doing some beautiful work with candles, and she was asking me, you know, can I put the candle on top of the selenite, the crystal? And I said to her, you can, but the thing that we want to remember always is that when we work with energy, we are all one, we are all connected, and it's all about maintaining the highest good of life. And if you're going to burn a candle on top of selenite, it might damage the selenite. All right? It's always about maintaining the highest good of all. Okay? Because crystals are alive, salt is alive. And so what you do is you place your salt bowl either by your front door, or at least facing your front door. If you've got two main doors, like a front door and a back door, you can make two. And then you place the salt, and then you speak to the salt. What would you like the salt to absorb? What negativity would you like the salt to absorb in your life, in your energy, in your home space, in your office space, in your car, whatever, you know? Because the thing to remember is that a space is alive, a space is an energy. Because sometimes you walk into a space and you say, oh, the space feels good, or oh, the space doesn't feel good, you know? So, or you can just say that you want the salt to help you to generally absorb all the negativity. And then what I like to do is I like to put a selenite crystal on top. Now this is a wand. I like to work with wands. But you put on a crystal, like a selenite wand on top. And what selenite does, it brings in the positive energy of the universe. It brings in the angelic energy so that the angel energy can come into your life. And in the same way that some of you may have been carrying that negative vibrational energy with you through lifetimes, not even being aware of it, when you start to raise the vibration, you place the selenite on the salt, you start to bring that angelic energy in. So you change the vibration of the space in a way that is only focused on the highest good. And then positive things start automatically coming into your life. You open the windows, the sun begins to come through, that sort of thing. Okay? It may be dark outside, but when the sun comes out, the light begins to come in. So what you then do is you keep your salt. Um, I like to keep my selenite on the salt for, I like to keep my salt balls for 7 days, not longer than 7 days. Some people say up to 2 weeks, but I like to keep it for 7 days. In actual fact, I normally discard of my salt balls on a Saturday. So I make them on a Monday in my home. I make them on a Monday and I discard them on the Saturday. And the way I discard them is I plant them back into the earth. I bury the salt into the earth. So that the negativity that was absorbed by the salt, it is planted back into the earth so that the earth can transform it into positive energy. You can put it out with the rubbish, but just make sure that it's a day that the rubbish is actually going to be removed. You don't want to keep the salt in your house because the energy can start leaking back. Okay. And then the one thing to remember with selenite is that you don't want to get it wet, because if you get selenite wet, it is going to start melting away. It's going to start disintegrating or cracking. This one's got a little crack. You can't really see it. So the thing to remember, at the moment in South Africa, it's summer weather, it's hot. But salt attracts all things in the air, and it also attracts moisture. So if it's winter where you are or it's cold, salt can sometimes get wet on the inside. That is why when you have a Himalayan rock salt lamp, you know, if it's not switched on with a globe that keeps it warm, you want to cover it with plastic, otherwise it's going to crack. So you can always just place it next to the salt bowl as well. If you feel called upon to put selenite, you don't have to put selenite on there. Okay, and then as you deposit the salt into the earth or into the rubbish, but preferably the earth or even running water. Obviously, if you're going to deposit into running water, you want to, as I said with the crystal, you want to be mindful of life. What life is in the water, how is your action going to affect what you do? Because for every action in life, with Newton's third law, there's an equal action and a reaction. You always want to be mindful of your consequences, because sometimes we just do stuff. And that's how we create negative energy for ourselves. But from my heart, I want to wish you all the best. Namaste, love and light. If any of you want to have a personal reading with me, the way that I do that is, so I do either a personal reading, also do distance healing, obviously to clear, negative energy away. All the details are down below in the description. But what you do is, you send me an email. There's the payment options over there. The rates are over there. And then what I'll do is I'll create a video for you, and I send the video to you, and you can download it. You actually get to keep it, because sometimes what happens is we look at a video, or I have a reading with someone that is opposite me, and you think you're grasping everything, but you don't really. Whereas with a video, you can look at it, and then 2 to 3 days later, you're ready for something new, or 2 to 3 weeks, or a month later, 2 months later, you look at it again, you go like, oh, look at this. But for now, from my heart, Namaste, love and light. I wish you all the best. Goodbye, beautiful souls.